My grandfather was a despicable thief. He stole my grandmother's pen name, her future, and every word she wrote. Then fled that soot-choked West Virginia town with another woman. What happened next? He won a Pulitzer and lectured on journalistic integrity. That woman became a best-selling author on my grandmother's words, flaunting her artistic soul to cameras.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eleanor Vance.
My grandmother, the real Eleanor Vance, remained trapped in that town. Slandered as a whore, she died with her eyes open. 50 years later, I sat in the Apex Media interview room. Across from me sat Victoria Croft, Columbia's brightest journalism prodigy. I flipped her resume. My fingers locked stiff. 2 names left off the page. One hated for life, one hunted for decades. I shut the folder and lifted my eyes. She smiled politely, waiting for me to speak.
You're out.
Her smile froze.
I'm sorry, what? You're out. You didn't pass the interview.
The other interviewers traded glances. Mark, the deputy editor on my left side.
Ava, she's only 22. National Journalism Gold Medalist, published in major magazines. She's a talent. Think twice, maybe?
Victoria overheard. Her back straight.
My mind is made up.
I pushed her resume aside.
Miss Croft, you did not pass. Please leave.
The room held its collective breath. Victoria's composure cracked.
What do you mean by this?
I said nothing, studying her face. The eyes, the nose, the jawline. A blinding match to that old photo. Under the table, my hands clenched.
Do you even know who I am? My grandfather's Julian Court Pulitzer Lifetime Achievement winner. My grandmother's Isabel Vance, celebrated National Book Award author. My parents were senior editors at the Washington Post. Everyone in media knows their names. I graduated first in my class from London. Tell me, how am I unqualified?
Resumes are only paper. In this industry, I value integrity and clean backgrounds. As for your family, they aren't assets here. You may leave now.
Victoria froze. This was perhaps the first public humiliation of her life. Her face burned crimson.
This is revenge out of pure spite! Mark my words. One call from my grandfather, every media outlets will blacklist you.
She stormed out. The other interviewers tried to cut in.
Ava, you...
I raised a hand.
Move on. Bring in the next one.
The next 3 candidates were all outstanding. Back in my office, I organized their profiles. Sterling, the firm's senior partner, stormed in.
Ava, are you insane? Why rejected Victoria? Do you know her family background? It is Julian Crock, a journalism giant. He holds deep, far-reaching ties to our board of directors. You rejected his granddaughter. Do you know the consequences? Send the offer, now.
Too late. I sent her file back already.
Sterling froze. His phone rang right then. One glance at the screen drained his color. He said nothing, gripping the phone and walking out. At the door, a lethal glare warned, "You've crossed the line." But I felt no fear. I'd waited too long for today. I worked through the 3 candidates' files calmly. A knock interrupted.
Ava, this is Mrs. Isabel Vance, Victoria's grandmother.
A knock interrupted.
Ava, this is Mrs. Isabel Vance, Victoria's grandmother.
A heavy warning in his eyes. Sterling backed out and clicked the door shut. I looked up. She wore tailored Chanel, silver hair and an elegant chignon, tortoiseshell glasses on her nose. 70-something, but immaculately preserved.
Miss Hayes, my granddaughter wants a position at your company. Arrange it for her.
She slid a thick envelope across my desk. I stared at her hands. They were plump and fair. A huge sapphire ring sat on her ring finger. These hands had never known hardship, but the real Isabel's hands looked nothing like this. She spent her whole life hunched over a sewing machine, mending clothes for the whole town, knuckles swollen, fingers calloused and permanently bent to her grave.
My hiring procedure is finished. Your granddaughter didn't pass.
Her face darkened.
Miss Hayes, Victoria is a National Journalism Award gold medalist. She has 6 published pieces in leading journals and topped her classes every year. Turning her away, is it not ridiculous?
We've already made our decision. We have candidates better suited for the role.
What, is this not enough? Name your price.
I stick to my own rules when hiring. A legendary writer should respect boundaries. Unless you think principles carry a price tag.
You think too high of yourself, young lady. Relying on your looks, sleeping your way up the ladder. Victoria lost her parents young. Mr. Croft and I poured half our lives into raising her. Get her on the payroll right away or else our family's roots and clout run deep in this industry. You're no match for us, no matter who you know. Don't dig your own grave.
I watched her calmly. Beneath her polished mask, 50 years of venom spilled forth. She had shown her true colors at last. She stole another's identity and glory. The leopard can't change the fox. Her cold disregard for human lives would never fade. She was not the real Eleanor Vance, merely a thief. I clenched my palms, my tone icy.
Have you finished? Mrs. Vant, the hiring decision is final. Please leave.
You bitch! We'll see about this!
The door slammed. Sound of her high heels faded down the hallway. Not even 10 minutes later, Sterling burst back into my office.
Ava Hayes, are you trying to destroy this company? I'm warning you for the last time, on board Victoria Crocs right now!
Victoria failed the interview. She doesn't meet our standards. The internal announcement portal is locked. I'm the only one with the access code.
Ava, you're insane! Do you know who her grandfather is? Julian Croft. One word from him, this firm is gone. Fix this now or you're fired.
I didn't say a word. I just stared at him.
Fine. I'll call Professor Croc myself.
Sterling froze for a beat, clearly not expecting me to agree so readily. Storming out, slamming the door hard behind him. A sliver of sunlight shifted through the window, landing squarely on the document spread out before me. Julian Croft. Isabel Vance. Victoria had neatly filled both names under the family member section. One was my grandfather, a coward who abandoned his wife and daughter. The other was the thief who stole my grandmother's entire life. I stared at the two names for a long while, then I dialed the number.
Professor Crick, this is Ava Hayes from Vance Apex Media. Regarding Victoria Crick, I think we need to speak in person.
That night arrived. I stepped inside the members-only cigar club. Julian Croft sat on a Chesterfield leather sofa. He was older now, heavier, wrapped in an expensive tailored suit. Yet I recognized him at first glance. That face, that sharp high brow, just like the man in that old photo, the one I had studied for 30 years.
Professor Christ.
Miss Hayes, I've looked into you. A kid from the Rust Belt clawing your way up. I came from nothing, too. I know how hard that climb is.
He signaled the waiter to pour me a drink.
Whatever you might be concerned about, I can assure you Victoria is exactly the talent your firm needs. Just nod. I'll make your career far brighter than you can imagine. You're still young. Opportunities are what you lack most.
His gaze was lazy, casual, carrying the typical hypocrisy of those in power. Not a single pause, not a hint of doubt. Though everyone in town said I looked just like my grandmother when she was young, he didn't recognize me. He didn't even know I existed.
Professor Christ, you clawed your way up from nothing. I wonder how many lives did you ride rough shit over to climb here?
Spit it out. What do you want?
What do you want? I turned the words over in my head. A faint, cold smile tugged at my lips. I wanted justice for my grandma. 50 years ago, she was expecting a baby, only to be abandoned in that rundown town. He stole her name, stole her university offer, fled with another woman. Grandma was branded a whore, condemned to that small town for life. My mother was born a bastard and 13, stuck sewing in a machine. Her fingers scarred raw from needle pricks. 2 generations, 2 lives broken beyond repair. They scraped together every penny to get me out of that hopeless town. I worked my way through college, all the way to where I was now. I'd waited for this moment.
Professor Croft, all I want is justice. I had sent out the final hiring roster before I came. Victoria Croft isn't on it.
He stared at me. I stared back. 50 years of blood debt was between us.
You're far too naive, girl. I met you today to offer you an out, but you chose to burn every bridge. Then don't say I didn't warn you.
I stayed seated, watching his frame vanish behind the club's heavy oak doors. I hadn't touched the drink. It had turned cold. At that night, an urgent statement splashed from Vance Apex Media homepage. Ava Hayes, former editor-in-chief and lead interviewer, has been terminated for willfully sabotaging hiring procedures and undermining industry equity.